Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another awesome edition of the Treehouse. And I feel crazy fortunate because I'm like you guys, the people watching, because I know a little bit about our next guest, but I've been really excited to get to know this guy more. I am so glad. You guys need to meet DeAmon Harges.
That's it. Hello.
He's here. So, other than watching, I got to watch your TED Talk, which was amazing. I mean, I don't know, you're a good speaker, man. And not only that, but just getting a sense of some of what I've heard about what you do, which is what I love interviewing people is to see how they're taking creativity and compassion and just transforming neighborhoods and people. And that's why, I mean, TED Talk was cool, but man, just you could see that's what you're on a mission to do. But if you don't mind, and knowing that maybe they don't even know who you are, what you do, maybe kind of just start filling us in on like what, well, and then eventually what led you to some of the titles that you've got. The roving listener, which I think is awesome, and like just hearing that made me want to go. I want to ask you why you called that. And then maybe we got to get into some of the art projects you're working on and what you're up to next. And yeah, man, thank you so much for coming though. Super appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us. We want to know you. Tell me about who you are and how you got to where you're going.
Well, audience.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think there are a couple of versions to tell, and one in a snapshot just to say what the roving listener is, which came up as a joke.
Really?
Yeah. So I have a friend named Reverend Mike Mather. He's a pastor at Broadway United Methodist Church over in Mapleton Fall Creek in Indianapolis.
Now, was he the guy that was on the the TED Talk too? Okay,
yeah,
man,
who I talked about.
Wow. Yeah.
So he actually came to me because the development corporation in our neighborhood was doing a strategic plan, and they came to us because we have been doing engagement in the neighborhood around that church for a long time. So they wanted a partner. And
yeah.
He says when they come to ask and say we want to be partners, that means they also want money.
Isn't that the truth though? But yeah.
Yeah. But what they wanted to do is to create a strategic plan on in our neighborhood that would make things better.
Yeah.
And he said, well, we get to choose the person. We'll put up half the money. We get to choose the person.
Cool.
And we'll be supervising that person.
Okay.
And we won't do a strategic plan based on what's wrong with people around here. He said we'll do a strategic plan based on the good of the people that live in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so he came back to me because of something that I always do anyway, was visiting my neighbors.
Yeah.
And he said, how would you like to get paid for what you're doing?
Yeah. Do you argue with that?
No.
You're like,
and I said, what is it that you think I do? And he said,
I
want you to continue to find the gifts and the talents of everybody in the life of our community. Find a place for that gift and celebrate those gifts. Utilize those gifts in ways that build community, economy, and mutual delight.
Yeah. So how did that become a passion for you? I mean, is it something you notice that people just aren't seeing the gifts that they have?
I do. I think a couple of things that I realized that in my particular life that it took people seeing that in me. So I have a lot of deficits. I'm an administrative nightmare. Right.
But welcome to the club.
But that I am really good at paying attention to people.
Yeah.
But it took a congregation to notice that. I got into it, really. So Reverend Mike had discovered I was doing this. But how he got to do it, he asked me when I first met him in South Bend, Indiana. He said, what is your story? The only story that I could think of was my granddad's story. And so I told him this story about my granddad planting this tree. And when my mother was born, and when the kids grew up, my uncles and aunts and moms and their friends, they called the tree the learning tree because granddad would tell stories around it. And that's how we kind of connected.
That's awesome. So
this idea that I actually grew up thinking like this. My house was the place where everybody that was a throwaway
came to like have it.
Yeah, it was a place of like healing, right? Just like regular neighborhood friend to friend healing.
Yeah.
And so it resonated. It resonated with me seeing what Broadway was doing, and so that came to that. And then since then, it's evolved to a whole new level.
Wow, who would have thought? I don't know if your grandfather's still around, but yeah, just like that, you don't know how powerful what you're doing might, just transcend into like, man, like who you are today, just a direct effect of that. But wow, yeah, I mean, especially what I just love what you're saying too, and people, man, just of course, I'm not to, not put the elephant in the room. I mean, today we need to hear that, yeah, I mean, things need to be fixed, and there's problems that we need to address. But man, there's so much good happening. And I love hearing you talk about like showing people like, yeah, like there are people who we need to help that aren't graduating, for example. But man, look at all these people that are, and look at this neighborhood. To you, someone on the outside may not see the amazing things they're doing, but you get to know them, you get to know the person and the people, and you're like, man, this is awesome. Like,
but how you make that visible?
Yeah, exactly.
How you make that visible, and one, it takes a lot of practice.
Right.
Because it takes a lot of practice noticing. But like, this is an example. What you do in here, what you guys do, is you make the invisible visible, giving a platform that's normally not heard to be heard.
Right. And it needs to be heard.
Right.
Right.
It needs to be. That's what that is. And I think what we need to do is keep building structures of paying attention and noticing. Mm-hmm. So whether it's in writing and books, we invest a lot into that, making the invisible visible.
Like what you're doing, I would consider as a juggernaut of awesomeness of just change.
Oh man, it takes a lot of failing. I mean, I was just thinking my time. I'm not officially at Broadway anymore. I'm a member and I go to church there, but it's been me and my neighbors doing this. And what's been interesting is figuring out it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of making mistakes too. I realized that's been the damage of like what we call social service programs, because there's no room for failure.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's nothing. Nobody sets up a place for that. Like this summer, we took. We call ourselves the Learning Tree.
Yeah.
So just kind of a group of people hanging out. We got a hold of a grant.
That's not a bad thing.
It's not. It was like $67,000.
That's awesome, dude. That's great.
We said, how can we put use to this?
Yeah.
We have a low-income neighborhood. The best place we could use this 67 is put it in the hands of people that live there. Now, people will look at our neighborhood and be like, well, don't they need training? Don't they need this? We hired some of the most amazing people.
Huh.
We hired my friend Wildstyle. Wildstyle, the producer, a hip-hop engineer. He has a couple hip-hop artists that he manages.
Okay, awesome.
But he's a photographer. So his job as the roving illustrator was to take photos and videos of the good things that our neighbors put up. We get a lot of hits on those videos because of him.
Well, yeah, that's good.
So the other thing, we have the novel writer. We just hired a brother of one of our neighbors that writes novels and plays. He writes profiles and portfolios.
I love this. We were just talking about this, and I'm like, this is
epic. So some of what peep society would say, the roughest characters sitting around the table, sitting in our living room, and Maurice is sitting up there
writing their story.
Just writing. He's not even saying nothing. We just listening to him talk. A week later, they're sitting around helping us put up a festival, set up for a festival, and he hands them quietly their profiles.
Whoa.
It was real quiet for about a minute.
Yeah.
And then they said, hey, look what he wrote about me.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what we were just doing? What we looked at is that we were just holding mirrors up.
Yeah, you just telling them, but yeah.
And it was beautiful. These are, the looks on their face. Huh. I was just like blown away.
Well, tell me too. Sorry, I know we keep mentioning it, and I don't know if you can elaborate a little further. Tell me about the Learning Tree. So, if I want to find out more, and plus, tell me what you got. What is that? Because I know I'm going to go online. I'm going to start Googling it.
So if you look up Learning Tree at Facebook.
Okay, so it's going to look on Facebook for Learning Tree. Okay.
We thought that what we wanted to do in the next 3 or 4 years was cultivate joy. So we have an initiative that we call Cultivating Joy. And so we were trying to figure out what components would add into it. And we had this elaborate plan. Well, what it ended up being is for $47,000 was for 3 installations. So art installations in our neighborhood done by artists in our community. And then the $12,000 was for the meals.
Okay, gotcha. So that's gonna, so we got to talk about, because I was wondering where the
I'm gonna make the,
you just set it up there. So so tell me about, like, one, what kind of art are you doing, and then, because it is truly like you're using art to create a change I love that in the community. So tell me about these projects. What are you working on? I know you're working on some with doors currently, right?
So it was first started out with abandoned homes. Taking those large photos and blowing them up like 8 feet tall and putting them on houses of stories of people around here.
Wow.
So that's what we thought we were going to do. We were walking through an alley and we found 25 doors and it just dumped.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so we looked and said, we should come back and get those doors, but I don't know what we'll do with them. Yeah. So I called my friend Gary, who's an artist and a sculptor.
Okay.
We do pottery and stuff together. And
nice.
I said, hey, I got 25 doors. Think about something.
Yeah.
He came back over the next day with a labyrinth, a maquette of a labyrinth of 54 doors. He said, we're going to do a labyrinth with 54 doors.
Oh,
and we'll call it Perception.
Ooh.
And so what we did with part of the money was pay our neighbors to tell their stories of their perception of life on both sides of the door.
Oh my gosh, dude. What a great, like, MacGyver moment of, man, that's a really good idea. Okay, hats off to your friend on that sculpture idea. Dude, that's cool.
It's a brilliant design, too. It is beautiful. And the doors are incredible.
We've been asking everybody I know. I kind of prepped you with this. I don't want to, put around on the spot. But if you had to, like, define for you, like, what your superpower is. I mean, I think I got a million ones that I could define for you, but what do you feel like is your strength? And then another one is, like, it could be the same thing, which is cool, is your kind of your kryptonite, your greatest weakness. Like, what do you feel like you struggle with, but maybe you use it for good,
Well, I think if I had a little superpower, it's like my ability to help people fall in love with each other. Yeah. Probably would be my kryptonite too, but I think what my friends would say, would be my kryptonite is my administrative skills. They're so bad.
Oh,
I hear I'm saying nightmare. But what's beautiful about it, I use it as my strength too, because that means I need people.
You know what? And I bet you and I, we're playing. My friend who's watching, who does all this, is like, oh my gosh, he's an administrative nightmare too. But
I got you in trouble.
I'm terrible. Oh my gosh. If it involves numbers, you've lost me.
It get better. Though.
Yeah. You know what though? What I love, and I tell people all the time when I go to speak or do anything, I say, I am literally only as awesome as the people around me. Yeah. And like you have done, dude, I surround myself with people who are awesome and who have strengths that I don't have, that allow me to do the things that I think I can do. And I may have to, when I get into the administrator, people are, get out of the way. You don't, but I mean, that's awesome. That sounds like the same thing, man. You just use realizing it's not necessarily a weakness. Let's let somebody else pull that strength up.
It's a weakness, all right, but I know it.
Yeah, I'm willing to admit it.
I will. I mean, boy, I think that was been freeing for me. It's been freeing and not to have to worry about that. I don't have to pretend.
Good. Because, man, you need to just keep focusing in on what you're doing, which is awesome. Man, I'm so glad you guys got to meet him. And, before we leave, I warned him, all right, we got this over here. But so we are just kind of like, everybody who comes, there's no pressure to do anything good on it, but we're just going to, we've got our canvas here. We're just, everybody who comes draws a little something on there. So
I can do that.
Oh yeah, this markers, right? This is low key. It's low key, but we'll be working on that. And everybody, like I said, until next week, man, I'm so glad you guys tuned in for this. But we will see you guys, and please enjoy the rest of your Monday morning. And everybody, stay awesome.